Today, there are countless classical bedtime stories that everyone knows and loves. But in these more enlightened times, James Finn Garner has attempted to correct Rapunzel for a more modern audience. Politically Correct Bedtime Stories by James Finn Garner. There once lived an economically disadvantaged tinker and his wife. His lack of material accomplishment is not meant to imply that all tinkers are economically marginalized, or that if they are, that they deserve to be so. The tinker and his wife lived in a little hovel next to the modest estate of a witch. From their window they could see the witch's meticulously kept garden, a nauseating attempt to impose human notions of order onto nature. The wife of the tinker was pregnant, and as she gazed at the witch's garden, she began to crave some of the lettuce that she saw growing there. She begged the tinker to jump the fence and get some for her. Finally, the tinker submitted. At night, he jumped the fence and liberated some of the lettuce. But before he could get back, the witch caught him. Now, this witch was very kindness impaired. This is not meant to imply that all, or even some witches are that way, nor to deny this particular witch her right to express whatever disposition came naturally to her. As mentioned earlier, this witch was very kindness impaired, and the tinker was extremely frightened. She held him by the scruff of the neck and asked, "Where are you going with my lettuce?" The tinker might have argued with her over the concept of ownership and stated that the lettuce rightfully belonged to anyone who was hungry and had nerve enough to take it. Instead, in a degrading spectacle, he pleaded for mercy. "Please don't kill me," he cried in a characteristically male manner. "It was my wife's fault. She is pregnant and has a craving for some of your lovely lettuce. Please, spare me. Although a single-parent household is certainly acceptable, please, don't kill me and deprive my child of a stable two-parent family structure." The witch thought for a moment, then let go of his neck and disappeared without a word. The tinker gratefully went home with the lettuce. A few months later, and after agonizing pain that a man will never be able to truly appreciate, the tinker's wife gave birth to a beautiful, healthy, free woman. They named the baby Rapunzel, after a type of lettuce. Not long after this, the witch appeared at their doorstep, demanding that they give her the child in return for having spared the witch's life in the garden. What could they do? Their powerless station in life had always left them open to exploitation, and they felt they had no alternative. They gave Rapunzel to the witch, who sped away. The witch took the child deep into the woods and imprisoned her in a tall tower, the symbolism of which should be obvious. There, Rapunzel grew to womanhood. The tower had no doors or stairs, but did boast a single window at the top, and the only way for anyone to get to it was for Rapunzel to let down her long, luxurious hair and climb it, the symbolism of which should also be obvious. The witch was Rapunzel's only companion. She would stand at the foot of the tower and shout, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, that I might climb your golden stair." Rapunzel obediently did as she was told. Thus, for years, she let her body be exploited for the transportational needs of another. The witch loved music and taught Rapunzel to sing. They spent many long hours singing together in the tower. One day, a young prince rode near the tower and heard Rapunzel singing. But as he rode closer to find the source of the lovely sound, he spied the witch and hid himself and his new queen companion in the trees. Again, he heard beautiful singing. When the witch finally leaped into the woods, the prince called up the tower, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, that I might climb your golden stair." The hair cascaded from the window, and the prince climbed up. When the prince saw Rapunzel, her greater than average physical attractiveness and her long, luxurious hair led the prince to think, in a typically lookist way, that her personality would also be beautiful. This is not meant to imply that all princes judge people solely on their appearances, nor to deny this particular prince to make such assumptions. The prince said, "Oh, beautiful damsel, I heard you singing as I rode by on my horse. Please, sing for me again." Rapunzel didn't know what to make of this person, since she had never seen a man up close before. He seemed a strange creature, large, hairy in the face, and possessing a strong, musky odor. Rapunzel found this combination somewhat attractive and opened her mouth to sing. "Stop right there!" screamed a voice from the window. The witch had returned. How did you get up here?" Rapunzel asked. "I had an extra set of hair made in case of emergencies," said the witch matter-of-factly, and this certainly is one. Listen to me, Prince. I built this tower to keep Rapunzel away from men like you. I taught her to sing, training her voice for years. She'll stay here and sing for no one but me because I am the only one who truly loves her. We can talk about your codependency problems later, said the prince. But first, let me hear Rapunzel sing. No! I'm going to throw you from the tower into the thorny-colored bushes below so that your eyes will be gouged out and you'll win in the countryside for the rest of your life. Go to your bad luck! You may want to reconsider that, said the prince. I have some friends in the recording industry, you see, who would be very interested in Rapunzel, wasn't it? Different, kind of catchy, I suppose. I knew it! You want to take her from me! No, 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 said the prince. I want you to continue to train her, to nurture her, as her manager. Then, when the time is right, say a week or two, you can unleash her talent on the world and we can all rake in the cash. The witch paused for a second to think about this, and her demeanor visibly softened. She and the prince began to discuss record contracts and video deals, as well as possible marketing ideas, including lifelike Rapunzel dolls with their very own miniature stereo tune towers. As Rapunzel watched, her suspicions turned into revulsion. For years, her body had been exploited for the transportational needs of others. Now, they wanted to exploit her voice as well. So, her patience did not depend solely upon gender, she realized with a sigh. Rapunzel edged her way to the window without being seen. She stepped out and climbed down the second set of hair to the prince's waiting horse. From there, she dislodged the hair and took it with her as she rode off, leaving the prince and the witch to argue about royalties and percentages in their phallus-shaped tower. She rode to the city and rented a room in a building that had real stairs. She later established the non-profit foundation for the free proliferation of music and cut off her hair for a fundraising auction. She sang for free in coffee houses and art galleries for the rest of her days, always refusing to exploit for money other people's desire to hear her sing.